Good evening, scholars, parents, guardians, and colleagues in education. I am Kadeem Palmer, one of the course coordinators. I'm currently serving Gwen Park High School and Dr. Henry A. Wise High School. I want to welcome everyone to part two of our dual enrollment information session, right? Now, this one is entitled Get All Ready Application Steps for Spring 2022. And I know everybody's excited, right? But tonight we'll be discussing understanding dual enrollment eligibility, how to apply and enroll for spring 2022, transfer tips with Mr. Antoine Dees, and we will share a link to a step-by-step video of the dual enrollment platform. Now, my co-host, and it's always enjoy the host with Mr. Reed. My co-host for tonight is Mr. Nicholas Reed. How are you this evening, Mr. Reed?
Hi, Kadeem. I'm doing great tonight, man.
Perfect.
Greetings, everyone. Again, my name is Nicholas Reed. I'm the course coordinator assigned to Surrattsville High School and Potomac High School. I know a lot of you may be wondering, what is a course coordinator? COAST stands for Creating Opportunity for Academic Success and Transfer. Yes. I'll give you a little overview of what I do as a course coordinator. We are in 18 high schools within Prince George's County. Course coordinator served as the in-house Prince George's Community College representative. We manage all pre-enrollment advising for general recruitment and dual enrollment at each of our schools. The program objectives are dual enrollment, senior recruitment, and early college and career support. Now that I've told you about what a course coordinator is, let's see who's on the stream with us this evening.
Miss Laurel Conboy. Shout out to all the advisors. There we go, Miss Conboy. That's one of our coach coordinators. Miss Crenshaw is another one of our coach advisors. Good evening.
Okay, good evening, guys.
So
again, guys, I want you guys to join the conversation and ask any question that you may have in the chat. As you can see, some members from the dual enrollment team is in the chat. They are in the chat. Other members are also here to respond to you guys. So here you go. You have Mr. Stewart there as well.
Caitlin representing Eleanor Roosevelt. Mr. Harad representing Oxon Hill, another one of our coach coordinators.
Great.
Clipper Pride. Okay. There we go, Oxon Hill.
Okay, so so Mr. Palmer, let's move on to who is eligible. We're gonna look at who is eligible. This is a big piece, being that the application window is on Monday. So Mr. Palmer is gonna take over and cover who's eligible.
Perfect. Now, I know a lot of y'all are asking, can I be in dual enrollment and who is eligible, right? Now, PGCPS high school juniors and seniors may not qualify for dual enrollment at PGCC with either the same 3.0 cumulative unweighted high school GPA or a 2.5 cumulative high school GPA. But with that, you have to have that minimum AccuPlacer, SAT, or ACT scores. I'm going to get to more into that. So now you maybe want to ask, how do I qualify with just test scores, right? So in order to be eligible using just test scores, you must have at least at 2.5, as I mentioned. And that has to be your cumulative high school GPA. And you must have met the reading, the writing, or math readiness by achieving at least one. So you only need one of those minimum scores, right? Now, remember, you only need pass one of those sections to be qualified for the dual enrollment program, right? Now, up next, I'll talk about what if you don't have those scores, right? So if you are unsure where to find your unweighted GPA, you can go into your SchoolMax account, or you can speak to your professional high school counselor to verify whether or not you may qualify based off of your GPA. Now, one part is the qualification. Next, Mr. Reed is going to talk about how do you choose a class.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Palmer. So there you have it, Mr. Palmer covered who is eligible, test scores, and if you don't have test scores. Now I'm going to jump into the important piece here is how do I choose classes? I've gotten a lot of these questions now that we're in the pre-advising time and the window opens on Monday. I've gotten a lot of these questions in terms of how do I choose classes, what I'm eligible for, who do I talk to. So the first step is to speak with your course coordinator or dual enrollment representative here. As you can see, there's a link to the website there. The next step would be for you guys to review the courses by area of interest guide. A lot of you have been in receipt of this document. Review this document. It closely aligned with the PGCC pathway. Next thing here is review the course description via the PGCC academic catalog. The link to the website is there as well. The next thing here would be for you guys to consider dual credit options. Again, if you're interested in dual credit courses count towards your high school and your college transcript, okay? And the link is there as well. Another thing is to determine course transferability in Maryland using the articulation system for Maryland colleges and universities, which is called ARTIS. The website is there as well. And for additional consultation, I encourage you to email a PGCC advisor at the link shown below. So the next thing here is the recommended courses based on area of interest. This is related to PGCC being a pathway institution to enhance student experience and speed success. Your course coordinator or dual enrollment representative will be able to formally provide you with the recommended courses based on area of interest document. So whether you're interested in allied health and nursing, behavioral science, wellness, culinary arts, and hospitality, public safety and law, whether you're interested in education, technology, or you're interested in science, engineering, and math, we'll be able to get you on a path to success and hopefully save time and money in college. For additional information, you can see a full course recommendation guide and speak with your course coordinator or dual enrollment representative. And now that we have covered who's eligible and how you choose classes, we're going to go over a few examples here. And the first example, my host, Mr. Palmer, will cover here. Example 1.
Appreciate you, Mr. Rita. Appreciate you. Now, so let's try to figure out like your different cases, right? So you're gonna have a bunch of different scenarios, right? Based on your qualifications, your test scores, what courses you've completed. So we're gonna just use some examples so you can have an idea of where you're at and what classes you're qualified for, right? So Max is interested in dual enrollment, right? We want to ask, is he eligible? Has he met reading, writing, and or math readiness, right? So I want to bring your attention to his test results. At the bottom of the screen here, you see on the right placer, he got a 5 on the right placer. He earned a 263 on the next generation reading. And on the next generation QAS, he got a 235, right? So just pay attention to those scores. And we're going to use this as a reference here. I hope you saw those choices, A, B, C, or D. You're going to choose whether Max is eligible. Is he not eligible? How is he eligible? So make sure you look at those. And you're going to just put that in the chat for right now, right? Type your answers in the chat, right? So you see A, B, C, or D here. Either A, no, Max is not eligible. B, yes, Max has met reading and writing readiness. C, yes, Max has met math readiness. Or D, yes, Max has met reading, writing, and math readiness, right? Based on the scores that you see at the bottom of the screen here. So let's go to the next slide. And we're going to just dive a little bit deeper into Max's case, right? So look at the reference here. So we'll have his test scores on the right and the reference on the left. And take a picture of this. So throughout the night, you're going to see a bunch of very helpful slides, right? And you want to take a picture of them because you'll be using them for yourselves. I guarantee you it will save you from asking a bunch of questions. So for the reading, for the next generation active placer reading, you see the minimum score is at 254. For the writing, the active placer, right placer, the minimum score is 5 or above. And for math, right? For QAS, which is that first section, the minimum is 263. So you can get 263 or above. And if you do well on that QAS, then you get passed over to the AAF, which is that advanced algebra and functions, right? That minimum score is a 240. So 240 or above, you're good. And you see math, Max has his scores here, right? So right placer 5, reading 263, and QAS 235. So let's go to the next slide so we can figure out, is Max eligible, right? Now, I hope a bunch of y'all already tried for yourself, so you're not just going straight to the answer. But the answer is B. Yes, Max has met reading and writing readiness. You see with that QAS score, that math score, he didn't really meet that. And I see Devon got that B. Okay, go ahead, Devon. And we're going to just go a little bit deeper into Max's case. So now that you know what he's eligible for, right? Let's go over to what he's interested in. So Max is interested in criminal justice, right? What courses should he take? So when your window opens up on Monday, you want to figure out, you already know you're eligible, right? You want to know how you're eligible. You want to figure out what courses you should take, right? So if you're like Max and you're going in the public safety and law area of interest, that will include majors such as law enforcement, law, firefighters, paramedics, and more, right? So Max is looking at courses like INT 1010, which is Intro to Information Technology, English 1010, which is Composition 1, CJT 1510, which is Intro to Criminal Justice, SOC 1010, which is Intro to Sociology, and COM 1010 or COM 1090, which is respectively Foundations of Communication and Interpersonal Communication, right? So you want to look at the mnemonics on the left side, and you want to look at the course name in the middle, right? And after that, we're going to go into example 2. So Mr. Reed is going to take example 2 just to give you a different case. Mr. Reed.
Thank you, Mr. Palmer. And there you have it from my lovely host, Mr. Palmer. So now we're going to take it to example 2 here, guys. We have Samantha. Samantha is a junior with a 3.89 GPA. She has no test score. She's interested in dual enrollment. Is Samantha eligible? Has she met reading, writing, and or math readiness? So there you have it. You have the options here. I want you guys to start figuring out, thinking about it. Be ready to post your answers in the chat. So we're going to go a little bit deeper into Samantha's case here. So here, as it states, this is a profile of Samantha again. She's in 11th grade. She's a junior. She have a 3.89 cumulative unweighted GPA, no test score. And there you have it. You have some hints right there in regards to what she may be eligible for as a junior and what she may be eligible for as a senior. So I'm giving you guys a little bit of time right here to post your answers in the chat, whether it's A, B, C, or D. So let's see what's the answer. Okay, so as you can see there, guys, Samantha is a junior with a 3.89 GPA. She has no test score. She's interested in dual enrollment. Is she eligible? The first answer right there, yes, she's eligible. Has Samantha met reading, writing, and or math readiness? That's the second part of the question. And she is limited to courses with no prerequisite requirement. So the answer right there, guys, is C. Yes, and she's limited to courses with no prerequisite requirement as a junior. So let's go to the next slide where we look at what she's interested in. Samantha is interested in nursing. What courses should Samantha take? So as she's interested in nursing, she would follow the area of interest of allied health and nursing. As you can see, we have 3 columns there: course number, course name, and prerequisite. Remember, as it states, Samantha may take courses that list prerequisite none. While all these columns are important, guys, I want you to pay specific attention to the column that says prerequisite, because this will stipulate whether or not you're eligible to register for our chooses class or not. So for example, communication 1010, which is foundations of communication, the prerequisite there is none. Psych 1010, which is general psychology, prerequisite there is none. And SOC 1010, which is introduction to sociology, the prerequisite there is none. And to be honest, guys, these are some of the most popular dual enrollment courses, in particularly general psychology. And as you can see, these classes are eligible as dual credit. And if you're interested in taking these classes as a dual credit option, remember, you have to speak with your professional school counselor. Now that we have covered example 2, we will continue to review another example. Mr.
Perfect. Now,
Reed.
thank you, Mr. Reed. Thank you, Mr. Reed. So, all right. So, we want to give you different scenarios, right? So you can see which one might fit your case because you're gonna have to kind of understand where you are with your grade level and what you're qualified for, what courses you want, right? That's happening again on Monday. So let's use Brandon as an example, right? So Brandon is a senior. He has a 3.25 GPA, right? Brandon has no test scores and he completed English 11 and Algebra 2. He's interested in dual enrollment, so we're asking again, is Brandon eligible and has he met reading, writing, or math, right? Options are here again. So if you want to just take some time and just figure out which one works, we have A, B, C, or D. So A is no, Brandon is not eligible. B is yes, Brandon has met reading and writing readiness. C, yes, and he's limited to courses with no prerequisite requirements. Or D, yes, Brandon has met reading, writing, and math readiness, and he may take English 1010 and math courses up to math 1350. So let's dive into Brandon's case a little bit more with the next slide. All right, so breaking it down for you again, giving you the specs, right? He's a 12th grader, so he's a senior, right? His cumulative unweighted GPA is a 3.25. Again, Brandon has no test score. So if you're a student and find yourself in a similar situation as Brandon, pay attention to this one. He's completed English 11 and Algebra 2 now. Those are really important. And we're going to give you some hints, right? You see junior and seniors there. And so just look at Brandon's situation over in the senior section and post your answers in the chat. We're going to give you a second and just try to see if you can come up with it yourself, just to see if you're really grasping the information that we're diverging to you. So we're going to go to the next and look at the answer now. And the answer is D. Yes, Brandon has met reading, writing, and math readiness, and he may take English 1010 and math courses up to math 1350. Again, he's a senior. He completed English 11, completed Algebra 2, and those are big caveats that you need to pay attention to, right? So yes, Brandon is eligible. So let's look at his area of interest now, see what Brandon is interested in. So I know a lot of students are big on tech now. So if you're interested in technology, let's look at Brandon's case. So the technology area of interest includes infotech, web development, and a bunch of other IT courses, right? IT majors. So let's look at the course number and the course name again, because you're going to be seeing this when you actually go into the Dual Enroll website and you're trying to figure out what classes you want to take, right? So as you see, INT 1010 is Intro to Information Technology. English 1010 again is Composition 1, which is one of our most popular courses, along with psychology. And we have Math 1130, which is mathematical ideas, right? So pay attention to the DC again in the parentheses that Mr. Reed mentioned before. Those are dual credit courses. And again, those give you high school credits as well. And pay attention to the prerequisites on the side as well. So you see next to the INT 1010 where it says prerequisite none, but you must still qualify for the dual enrollment program, right? So that's one of those main courses that students take. Is really good because it's dual credit and it has no prerequisite requirements. So we're going to go to our next slide there. Just to tell you, if you need any more help just understanding your placement, you have the biggest resources available, and I'm going to give you that answer on what the biggest resource is right now is your course coordinator or your dual enrollment representative, right? So make sure that you just take advantage of that and just get in contact with your dual enrollment representative or your course coordinator. We have that contact info on the screen here at www.pgcc.edu/coast, right? And next, I'm going to pass it back to Mr. Reed, and we're going to talk about how do I apply, right?
Thank you, Mr. Palmer. Yes. So now that we've covered the examples and understand placement, we're going to look at how do I apply. All eligible students have to complete their applications and request their courses each dual enrollment cycle through the dual enrollment website at pgcc.dualenroll.com. New students will have to create new account, while continuing student will have to log into the platform with their already established credentials. So now we're going to look at the timeline, guys. Now that you know what you need to do in regards to application as a new student, you have to apply via pgcc.dualenroll Continuing student, you already have your login. All you need to do is go ahead and log into the platform. And you can start that on Monday, November the 15th. The application window is from November the 15th until November the 24th. So that's where you'll be able to apply via pgcc.dualenroll.com. Other important dates on this timeline is November the 17th, and that will be a PGCPS dual enrollment Q&A session. There will be also a link available. And after, guys, this video will be available via PGCC TV, so you'll be able to see and find these links in the description. Other important dates to pay attention to here is early January, and this is the spring 2022 payment date. I encourage you guys, once your courses have been completed in dual enroll, to review your schedule and view your bill, and that will have to be done via pgcc.edu, that is in our link. Okay. The next important date here, guys, is January 24th, which is the PGCC Spring 2022 academic term. That's when it begins. Okay. You can get more information on this via the PGCC website. Okay. So the next thing here, guys, we're going to move onto the dual enrollment video, which my lovely co-host, Mr. Palmer, will talk about.
Thank you again, Mr. Reed. So you should be able to tell now there are a number of people who support the dual enrollment program. It is a program which allows you to take college classes while you're in high school with no tuition cost, right? So, I mean, a lot of you might not understand just how great of an opportunity that is now, but once you're in college and you're figuring out how to pay for your classes, I'm telling you, you'll be happy that you already knocked out a bunch of these for free, right? Which will shorten your college workload. But we want to just direct you to this dual enroll video, right? So when the website opens up on Monday, a lot of you are going to be doing your applications or just requesting courses if you're a returning student. So we want to just make sure that we divert your attention here and just check out the dual enrollment video. It takes you step by step through the application, right? And course request process. So while you're there, we have some other videos about PGCC and the programs that we offer. So we're encouraging you to just go ahead and peruse that as well. Just look through everything that we have. But this dual enrollment video will get you just ready to just go through the website once it opens on the 15th, because remember that you're going to be requesting a bunch of courses. A lot of these courses will be filled up, so you want to be ahead of the curve. I know a lot of us are procrastinators. I used to be one as well, but on this, you don't want to do that because you're going to miss opportunities, and you can't choose the time that you want if a bunch of students already chose it and the class is full. So just get ready by first understanding how you go through this step by step, right? So next, I'm going to just take you through the application instructions just to get you even more ready, but pay attention to that video as well. So the first piece of the application is your interest and eligibility. So we numbered them 1 through 7. We talked about if you're interested in dual enrollment, you're here, right? You want to figure out how you're eligible with that 3.0 or that 2.5 with the standardized test. The second step will be the dual enroll application and course request, right? Which, as we show you right here, the site, the PGCC dual enroll site, will open on Monday, which is November 15th, right? So you want to make sure you pay attention to that. All your course requests and application will be due on November the 24th. So you don't have a lot of time. You want to get on top of that. You want to look at 3 here again. After you do your application and your course requests, a next piece is going to be your parent or your guardian's consent. Your step 4 is going to be your next steps. So you'll have a bunch of little different things that you have to work out that you'll be contacting your course coordinators, your course advisors, and your dual enrollment representatives for. Right. Step 5 will be the new student orientation. Now, you know, when you go to any college, any university, there's an orientation piece. That's what that is at step 5 right there. After you've completed that, you requested your courses, you did all the little stuff that you have to do. You have your consent, you did the orientation, you'll be registered. That's your step 6. After you registered, your step 7 is just completing pre-semester tasks like getting your textbooks, making sure that you have any course materials that you need, making sure that you have any little thing that will make you successful in the class, right? So you want to just make sure that you pay attention to these steps and, of course, take pictures. the most important things that you need to pay attention to is that start the dual enroll site open date of November 15th and the site closes on the 24th. Those are some of the biggest takeaways that you need tonight, right? So we're going to go to the next piece. We're going to just talk about some updates as far as COVID-19. Now, understandably, PGCC does have a COVID-19 vaccine mandate. So this is a mandate for all students and employees. So it's not just the students, right? And it also applies to student regardless of your modality, your format. So if you're online, I understand that you're online, but this still does apply to you. There's a mandate for all students. Now, students who will be required to submit documentation of having received the COVID-19 vaccine. The college will evaluate student requests for medical, religious, or ADA exemptions on a case-by-case basis. Students with approved exemptions will be required to test weekly, right? If you have any questions, any concern, anything that you need clarified, we encourage you to email vmpo@pgcc.edu, and that is PGCC's Vaccination Management Program Office. So make sure that you keep that email handy just in case you have any questions about that COVID-19 mandate, right? And we just wanted to touch on that with you. Now, I want to get back to my co-host, Mr. Reed. Mr. Reed is going to talk about what kind of support you have available as a student. Mr. Reed.
Thank you, Mr. Palmer. That was lovely again. Dual enrollment. What supports are available once my class starts? And that's a very big question. I know this is new for you guys, and you may be wondering, oh, how do I navigate this? First of all, you have your course coordinator for you and the dual enrollment team. Okay. So the first thing I want to touch on here is the tutoring and writing services. The tutoring and writing center is available to students. So once you're enrolled in any of these particular courses, for example, a writing, like an English course, and you need proofreading, the writing center is there for you. But please note, these services, you have to make an appointment, and that has to be done in advance. It can't be a situation where the assignment is due Friday and you're submitting on Thursday. Okay, the tutoring center is there for you as well, whether it's math, science, etc. It's there for you. I've utilized these services, but a lot of times we find that students don't utilize these services, and they're there for you. The next thing here is the library service. The library is there not only for the students, but for the community. But once you're a part of the PGCC community, the library service is there for you. I'd encourage you to check out the library website to see the hours and the services available there. Also, we have technical support. If you need, for example, to loan a laptop, we have that program. If you have an issue with a laptop, if you need software for example, Microsoft Suite, if you need, say, for example, you're looking to complete an assignment, it's there for you. Okay. Disability support services. This, while it's a confidential process, this service is available for students. So if you have IEP or 504, this service is available for you. Typically, as I said, it's a confidential process. There's also counseling service. So depending on what you may what you may be going through or what the situation is, we offer this service. Also, we have the Office of Student Engagement and Leadership, which govern the clubs and orgs. So if you're interested in starting a club or being a part of a club, this is the way to go. It's called OCEL. So if you're interested in, say, you want to start up a math club, you could do that, or you want to start up a game club, you could do that. Also, you have the lovely Coast and the dual enrollment team. Okay, so guys, as you can see, there's a lot of service and there for you guys. There's a lot of support there for you guys. So don't feel intimidated. We're here to support you. So now we're going to transition to what is after dual enrollment. And today we'll be joined by welcome. Today I'd like to introduce to you Dr. Antoine Dees, our academic and career advisor. Welcome, Dr. Dees.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure.
So tonight we're going to talk about some transfer tips to the college itself. So let's get started.
Thank you.
So as part of what's after dual enrollment, you can finish education with us at Prince George's Community College. Former dual enrollment students can qualify for at least a 50% tuition assistance grant. So apply. Okay? So as we move forward, we'll talk about transfer process in general. So as you think about transferring to a four-year school or a community college, please consider staying with us at Prince George Community College. Which you guys stay with us, therefore you can enroll in courses, then transfer out to a four-year school. Now, when transferring or applying to four-year schools, they're going to ask you to request a transcript sent to them. Now, your high school transcript will show your college credits, but in general, they're going to ask also for a college transcript sent to them also to the four-year school. Now, you can request transcripts through your Outlook account. Now, your transcript can be either sent electronically or by paper or by mail. Now, keep in mind, though, if you have a copy that's sent to you physically, a hard copy, do not open that, because once you do, it's considered unofficial, okay? And so when applying to those four-year schools or community colleges, they're going to ask you to send a transcript to them, and they will let you know how the course will transfer in and also what would transfer in as far as the classes to show the equivalency to a four-year school. Now, we'll look at the transfer courses. We want your students to look at, think about your opportunity to transfer or going to a four-year school. Now, many times we say, well, just look at one school, but one school might not be enough. So look at maybe your top 3 or 5 schools in general. So therefore, we can have options to choose from when it comes to transferring and applying to those schools itself. Check with an advisor, either at a course coordinator or an advisor at Prince George Community College, about the courses offered, because you want to ensure that the course you're taking will transfer and align with program requirements at the four-year level. Okay. Now, as was mentioned earlier, there's a system that Maryland has, which is called ArtSys. This is where you can look to see how the course will align from a community college to a four-year school, or a four-year school to a four-year school. Now, as a side note, ArtSys will be going away shortly, okay? So right now, you can look at it and get an idea of the course equivalencies, but be mindful that that's going to change shortly to a different system altogether. And so more will be shown online about that process being changed, okay? And so make sure that you talk to a transfer admission representative to ask this additional question you may have about transferring into a four-year school, either with us at PGCC or also a course coordinator. So, some transfer tips. Did you guys know that our PGCC students will earn either an A, a B, or a C on their courses? Okay. So be mindful that as you go through your courses, you have to do your very best and get an A or B or a C in your courses. Now, also, when looking at four-year schools, be mindful also that all degree programs will not require all class requirements, so to speak. Okay. Now, however, all programs will require general education courses, and those courses at minimum will be either your English, math, science, and also social science courses. Those are more like your psychology or sociology classes, along with your humanities courses. And those are more so like your English, foreign language, and also speech courses, okay? Additionally, pay attention to the math requirements, because every program will be different, and therefore look to see what's required for that math program. Will they require a calculus-based program or statistics course? Okay, again, every program will be different. And lastly, if you're transferring to an out-of-state school, save a copy of your course syllabi, because this is needed. So therefore, if there are any questions from the course content, you can give that to your advisor at the four-year school to do a case-by-case scenario about the course equivalencies from us or to that four-year school in general. Okay, so that sums up the transfer process in general. So again, thank you for having me online tonight.
Thanks, Dr. Dees. That's great info about transferring credits after dual enrollment. Thank you. And there you have it, guys. Dr. Dees, he gave you some great information about transferring credits after dual enrollment. And now, this is just a reminder because we have gone over it several times, but this is the call to action for you guys to apply. Again, guys, the application for spring 2022 opened this Monday, November 15th, and and all applications are due on Wednesday, November the 24th. Do not miss the deadline, guys. Again, the application opens on Monday, November 15th, and it closes on Wednesday, November 24th. As you can see, there's a list of contact information. You can visit the website www.pgcc.edu to coast to find out your coast coordinator or who your dual enrollment representative is. There's also the PGCC dual enrollment team, and there's also the PGCPS dual enrollment team. So again, guys, the application window opens Monday, November the 15th, and closes Wednesday, November the 24th. So now we're gonna transition and we're gonna close out here. So, Mr. Palmer.
Okay, as you can see on screen, thank you, Mr. Reed. As you can see on screen here, right? We always make sure we put forth an effort to provide excellent service. So we provided a link to a survey that you can see here on the screen. Please do take some time to complete the survey and just let us know what you enjoyed, right? About our presentation, in addition to any recommendations that you may have. Again, please just make sure that you take advantage of the dual enrollment program. Again, we have a lot of students who are already above the curve. You know, we haven't always had this dual enrollment opportunity where you're getting free tuition for college level classes. That also gives you high school credits. It can make you get a half day, complete your high school credits before everybody else. Man, just please take advantage of this because, I mean, not everyone has this and it's free tuition, right? And nothing is better than free, but you're going to look back if you haven't taken advantage of this and wish that you did, because I know I wish I did, because I mean, I could knock out my first year of college. So again, it was just a pleasure to provide all of this information to you. And I just thank everyone who attended tonight for just taking this journey with us. Now, Mr. Reed, do you have anything to add?
I can't top what Mr. Palmer just said. All I can do is encourage you guys. Again, the application opens Monday, November the 15th. I'm encouraging you guys to apply. This is an opportunity to start college early. Don't miss this opportunity.
No.
Whether you qualify for a free and reduced meal or not, it is already at a reduced cost. Okay.
Exactly. Now, I want to add one thing, if you can, Mr. Reed. Now, even Malcolm X, one of my favorite people, he said, "The future belongs to those who prepare for it today." So make sure that you prepare for this today. Take advantage of it now. 5 years later, a couple of years later, when you're in college and everything is all good and you look back, you're going to be thankful that you got all of these free classes, free tuition classes.
Trust me. And education is the key to success, guys.
Exactly.
And I strongly believe in that. And we're here to support you along this journey. So apply.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thank you, guys.